So I got a text, and it was like, yo, Wyclef Jean's gonna perform, man. So let me get this out the way. You ready?
You ready? Yeah, let's do it. Ready?
Hey girl, I could see your body moving, and it's driving me crazy. And I didn't have the slightest idea until I saw you dancing. And when you walk up on the dance floor, nobody cannot ignore the way you move your body, girl. And everything's so unexpected, so you can right and left it. So you could keep on shaking. I never really knew that she could dance like this. She make a man wanna speak Spanish. Como se llama? Si, bonita, si.
Mi casa.
Shakira, all right, we got that out the way.
Hey, we good.
We got that out the way. All right. Let me throw on my nerdy
Where's
glasses.
Shakira?
Hold on, let me throw on my nerdy glasses. Okay. Ready to talk tech now.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
Let's go.
Let's talk
I'm from
tech
Miami,
now.
so that was a big deal for me.
You never know
Thank
with
you.
the Wyclef.
Thank you. Yes, one more round of applause. Next time, will you bring Shakira?
Shakira.
20th anniversary?
Yeah, so we're celebrating the 20th anniversary, yes.
Of Hips
So big
Don't Lie.
shout out. Yeah, Hips Don't Lie.
Really?
So, yes, Shakira, I have a hard life. Definitely. I would say, you know what the hardest thing was? Trying to do a beat for Shakira. So I'm literally there like, dun, 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 and she comes over, Wyclef, the record is not a hit if my hips don't move. I'm like, yo, I gotta make Shakira hips move, you dig?
You know, honestly, I don't know where to go from there. Like,
No,
what do
let's
we
go,
do
let's
now? Everybody, I mean, what happens now? I guess we talk about the music industry.
Yes.
We talk about the ways in which it's evolved over the years. I think we should jump right into something. We should just go right into the deep end, gentlemen.
Let's do it.
Is the music industry broken?
Yeah. Well, I think I'll start. The music industry is broken. So when I came up, my mentor is Quincy Jones. So he's one of my mentors. I came up, I was born in Haiti. At 14 years old, became a jazz prodigy. My dad is a minister, so I'm from the church, gospel church. But at 15, once the teacher introduced me to jazz, I was like, I'm gonna be a composer. Being a composer, I fell in love with Quincy Jones and Gershwin. So in 2025, the reason why I'm not hurting is because I fall on the side of the composer, meaning that I own the copyrights to Hips Don't Lie, Maria Maria, and it goes on, right? So that means that the artists now that are writing these songs currently right now, the money that I was making as a publisher has completely changed for a new era. And what that means is, if you're from like 1997 and 1996, you're screwed right now. And if you're a new artist, the amount of streams that you have to even do to get $10,000 is literally a ripoff. So now you have a constant revolt, starting with my homegirl, Cardi B. You know what I mean? So I know it's funny when Cardi B is selling CDs and vinyls on the street, but what she's doing is she's showing a point that our industry at this point is completely broken.
So let's get into the stats because I'm Asian.
Yeah.
So
No.
literally right now on Spotify, you have to have for $3,000 US, you have to hit 1 million streams. Okay? And Snoop Dogg, I think it was at a Milken conference, that he had a track, I believe it was Young, Wild, and Free with Wiz Khalifa, over 1 billion streams, he got paid $40,000. So he was like, why am I doing this? I should start my own platform, which he did. He started his own music direct-to-fan platform. And so why we're building OpenWav right now is the industry is completely broken, and we are at an intersection right now that is primed for disruption. And that's why we're building a direct-to-fan platform, because the algorithms are not rewarding the music, okay? And so Lizzo came out this weekend. I don't know if you guys follow social media, but Lizzo literally came out on Instagram, and she was just like, the industry's broken. There's no song of the summer. She was like, there used to be a thing called Clear Channel, where there used to actually be songs promoted on the radio, and you'd be jamming to it at the beach, at the barbecue, at the event. But literally right now, the labels don't care. The algorithm doesn't care. And literally, you didn't know. She's saying it. Beyonce dropped an album this year. Did you know that? And so right now, what she's saying is the opportunity is that you're direct to your community. You're direct to your niche. You're direct to your fan. Because that's where the algorithm doesn't play.
Right.
And so we're building OpenWav is a direct-to-fan platform for artists to monetize and engage what we call the true fan community. There was a Kevin Kelly essay back in 2008. Does anyone know this essay, The 1,000 True Fan? So the basic premise is, as a creator, as an artist, you don't need 1 million followers on Instagram and TikTok, because Instagram and TikTok's not paying you. You don't need 1 million listeners on Spotify or Tidal, because Spotify and Tidal's not paying you. What you need is 1,000 true fans. If you have 1,000 true fans that give you $10 a month, which is a Starbucks coffee, times 1,000, that's $120,000 a year as an independent music artist. Think about that.
Yep.
That's what C-suite executives all around the world are getting that type of annual salary. So we're changing the mindset. We're saying to the artists, hey, instead of this lofty goal, I got to get more followers and please the algorithm. I got to get more monthly listeners. But guess what? Spotify's not paying you. Instagram, TikTok's not paying you. But your true fans will pay you. They'll buy your tickets. They'll buy your exclusive music. Your music dropped first on OpenWav. They'll buy your merch. And if you're making that type of money, just $10 a month, you can actually build a sustainable career. And let's redefine what success is. Because you're your own business. You can talk about that.
Facts.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's actually talk about what it actually means to be an artist and a business at the same time. What does that actually look like sort of on the OpenWav platform?
You've experienced it firsthand.
Well, yeah, you know what? I'm sitting here and I'm having like a few flashbacks. One of them is being in the studio with Michael Jackson, name drop, right?
How was it?
MJ.
MJ.
Shout out.
Right? Man, at times I remember Michael would holler about how much artists was not like participating in the real financial back end of this, right? So the idea for me is OpenWav, let's start with what is the power of an artist, a true power of an artist, right? So as a Fuji, I didn't understand at a very young age I was being negotiated, right? Because I never had a direct conversation with Fortune. It would be the corporation. And the corporation would use me as a piece of currency for a negotiation. And at the end of the day, I get a couple $1 million, right? You know, I'm a young buck, and I'm like, yo, this is really good, man. I'm making all... And somebody just made $150 million off of me. So the idea of OpenWav, when we say you are your own business, it means literally that you are now the brand. So what that means with the brand is, if you are a fan of mine and I'm selling this jacket for $150, there's no middleman.
That's right.
It's direct consumer because the power of the artist is within the brand. I don't know no platform in the entire world that is doing 80% for an artist. And where the artist actually owns their own IP.
How did that feel, knowing that you had been the person who'd been behind that music that made all that money, but only got a small slice of it?
Well, the thing is, it makes me feel good in the sense of, right, somebody has to go through that sacrifice to tell like the young generation, like, yo, man, you don't want to make the mistake that I made. You are the brand, you are the power. So in this point, we want the entire new generation to understand that you are your own business.
And Jason, you were a part of a lot of early momentum at TikTok. You've built other platforms. In what ways is OpenWav different, and in what ways is it the same?
It's a great question. I always say that everything starts with music. I don't know who made that quote. I think it was David Geffen, but music opens the doors to everything else. You can't be at a restaurant without music. You can't be in an elevator without music. You can't go to work. You can't go to sleep. You can't do anything without music, because music is life. And so whether it was MySpace, whether it was Musical.ly, which we were an early investor in, which then, of course, became TikTok, and what blew up TikTok was music, was dance. Let's go back to early days YouTube. I was there with MC Hammer, my mentor. I call him my black dad. That was a whole nother story. And he was like, Jason, there's this company called YouTube in San Mateo. They're uploading content to servers. I'm like, what?
What are you talking about?
And literally drove him to San Mateo, above a pizza parlor, and there was Steve Chen, there was Chad Hurley, and again, what blew up YouTube? Music. It was music videos, Vivo, everything that we understand. Another company I was an early investor in, Triller, same thing, urban culture, music. And so I always say that music is the needle that moves culture. It's the needle that moves society. It's the needle that moves even technology, as we're talking now about Suno AI and Udio and what we're seeing and what's transforming there. I think what OpenWav does that no other platform does, because I get a lot of interviews. There are a lot of super fan platforms. There's a lot of direct-to-fan platforms, but no one is doing it all in one. And so when you come onto OpenWav, you're able to sell tickets and earn 80% of the profit. 20% is the platform enabling you to sell tickets to your shows on platform. And then everyone that buys a ticket goes into the event chat, like a Discord, and you're able to literally communicate and integrate and network with the very people that are buying the tickets to your shows. Then you're actually able to drop merch in that same community chat with zero upfront costs, no inventory, global drop shipping. I always say that Jack Ma's my uncle, and I'm building Alibaba for US. That's my name, Jaeson Ma. Shout out to Uncle Jack. Just kidding, he's not my uncle, but I wish he was. But I learned something when I was building 88 Rising, another company that I started in Shanghai and Beijing, and I was seeing this is really interesting. Like, if you guys notice, after 2023 Super Bowl, remember the Temu commercials? It was like, what is this company? It's like, Temu. It was like really spooky, right? But if you look in your iOS and Android store right now, #1 in e-commerce and shopping is not Amazon. It's not Walmart. It's not Target. It's not Costco. They're literally number 4, 5, 6, and 7. What do you see? 3 e-commerce companies coming from the East, Temu, Shein, AliExpress. What are they doing that's different? No inventory, zero upfront costs, global drop shipping. What does that mean? Amazon Prime, I buy this phone case for 20 bucks. Within 2 to 3 days, it shows up on my doorstep, whether in LA or whether in New York or whether I'm in London. Temu says, same phone case, instead of 20 bucks, what? 2 bucks. You can buy 3, 4, 5 of them, but instead of 2 to 3 days, you gotta wait 2 to 3 weeks, right? But it'll drop ship directly. So I started thinking about, okay, this supply chain is really, really interesting. We're seeing robotics, we're seeing technology, and supply chain is getting better and more efficient every single day. I know what it's like. I invest in CA Caravan, which we've developed over 10 celebrity consumer brands. Let me tell you something, celebrity consumer brands is difficult. It's very hard.
Well, the market is pretty saturated.
And saturated, and to actually win is very, very slim. But to be a Skims, you gotta have a CEO, tens of millions of dollars, private equity behind you, a management team, supply chain, marketing, all these different things. I said, okay, but let's just move it down to the average creator. Okay, back to numbers, I'm Asian. So Goldman Sachs last year said only 4% of the creator economy, which is now marching towards $500 billion, only 4% make over 6 figures every year. Let's go to a music stat. Only 10,000 artists on Spotify last year, which is the majority of music is independent. Only 10,000 artists made more than $10,000, which is 0.6%. 0.6%, okay? So
You're nodding a lot, Wyclef.
So back to OpenWav, and I'll clear it up here and I'll stop, is we created a supply chain now where you can literally, for zero upfront costs, zero inventory, global drop shipping, you don't have to go to the post office, you don't have to store your mom's garage with a bunch of hoodies, you don't have to go and source. You can literally design with our AI, print whatever you want on a hoodie, on a cup, on a skateboard, and whatever your fans buy, you keep 80%, and the platform does the rest. And then you can sell your content, your music. So what is OpenWav? You want to break your music, your merch, your tickets, your content on OpenWav before you go to any other platform and actually make a bag with your true community.
I know we're going to come to questions very, very soon, but I have to ask about AI. What role does AI play at OpenWav, and how do you feel about AI and music right now?
I'll let you start with AI and music, then I'll bring it back because I was talking.
How do you feel about AI-generated songs?
Yes, you know, I'm not Asian, but I'm very technical. I'm Haitian. So I'm an actual engineer by trade. I came to America, my father said, doctor, lawyer, engineer, rapper was not in it. So I choose engineer. Currently, for Google DeepMind, I'm one of the consultants for probably one of the biggest music tools, which is called Sandbox. So the way that I explain it to my students is we have a phrase, y'all could say it to y'all students, I ain't gonna sue y'all. We say, I am the master of AI, AI is not the master of I. And we start off by telling the students that because we want them to know that imagination and creativity is the highest form that you can achieve. So when we are in an era where the music people are like, man, a song could be duplicated within seconds. Talent can't be duplicated. Raw talent can be duplicated. So in saying that, even on the OpenWav platform, you know, earlier we showed you a young woman that's playing trumpet like Miles Davis. She's barely 24. She starts on the trumpet and then she goes into her bars like she's Kendrick Lamar. The AI can't duplicate that. I'm seeing a fight within the space of the music AI versus the AI for the film and the movies. The film, the movies, the commercials is more embraced. The reason why the music is not embraced, and don't anybody take this in the wrong way, is because we as engineers are not afraid of that, right? Because we are actually the ones that create the music, right? We have to sit there on the Neve board, right? I'm creating Killing Me Softly. I have to sit there. This is an Akai 900, you know, this is called the patch bay. But the average creator now fears this because they feel that the robot is in control of the music. And that's because we lack creativity. And this is why I tell the students, the more you can create, the more you can imagine, the more you'll be ahead of the machine learning.
I'll add to that. One of our brothers that we work with, Timbaland, he's been one of the, I would say, at the forefront of music and tech and AI. He's been working with Suno AI a lot. And last night we were on a call and he was explaining to my partner, he uses Suno like a sampler. And to him, Suno is like the next generation sampler. And he literally is using AI as a tool to help him create more with his existing music. And so he'll actually take one of his original beats, put it into Suno, and on top of that, be like, hey, get me a sitar from Bombay, and get me a sound that sounds like this instrument.
He's iterating quickly.
Literally, right? And so I think it's really interesting when you have musical talent from a human meet technology, software with music, and when you put the two together, something actually magical can really happen. Now, going back to music, tech, and OpenWav, what we see with AI is going to be your best friend as an artist. So coming on OpenWav Phase 2, it will be completely music manager agentic. So imagine now you're talking to OpenWav, to our manager, and you say, hey, based upon my streams, based upon my socials, based upon my comments, where should I tour? I've been thinking about US and Europe, and the AI manager comes back to you and says, you're wrong, buddy. It's Tokyo, it's Seoul, right? It's Beijing. You know, what type of product should I make? You know, what should I put on the slogan or on my actual merch? And it'll come back and give you ideas. Right now in OpenWav, you can use our design tool with AI and our different LLMs to design any type of design you want if you don't have a physical human designer to put on any type of physical product. We call it text to product right now. And so what gets really interesting is the AI starts telling you what type of music you should make based upon the actual data around your listeners and your community. What type of merch, where you should tour, where you should hold your show, you know, literally how am I gonna roll out my single, make me a lyric video, make me album art, make me single art. AI can literally help you where normally you would need an army or a team. Now AI completely efficientizes that. And for the average independent artist that only has 1,000 true fans or 10,000 true fans.
And can't afford a team.
They have OpenWav.
They have an agent.
That's right.
Questions for Jaeson and Wyclef? Back here.
Thank you, guys. Dominic from Forge. We trade private company shares. Full disclosure, I used to work at Pandora. We took it public, so we believed in the artist middle class. That was Tim Westergren's idea, to be able to, make a middle wage kind of living for a broad set of artists. And we monetized radio when radio was never monetized for artists. So that disclosure aside, why did Tidal fail? Tidal was owned by artists. And then I think it was sold to Jack Dorsey and Square Block, whatever they want to call it now, in 2021.
You asking me? I ain't Jay-Z, man. I know Jay-Z, though, since I was a kid. Jay-Z opened up for the Fugees. I could tell you one thing. He's all about buying, selling companies. You know what I mean? He's definitely a visionary. But I can't speak for Jay, you know what I'm saying? Smart man. I don't know.
I'm not going to speak for myself. It's interesting you asked that question. I met recently a private equity investor and entrepreneur who was an investor in Tidal and another music platform and streaming company that he wanted the two at the time to merge, but they didn't. And when I asked him why he thought Tidal didn't work, it was very simple. He just said the product wasn't as great as Spotify. And so imagine if you have Amazon already, and then you have Amazon that's mediocre. I'm not saying it was or isn't, but for him, the product just was not as great as a Spotify, as an Apple Music, and it was a little bit too late to the game. And even with all the major celebrities on it, to get the artists to actually change, meaning the listeners to actually change, the fans to change behavior, there wasn't enough incentive for them to do it from a UI, UX perspective, as well as, I would say, a fan support perspective. Very simple. So we're an 80-20 platform. So you ask, how does OpenWav make money? So 80% to the artists, they own the IP, they own the email address, they own the phone number. As you know right now, on all social media, you don't own your audience. He has 2 million followers on Instagram. When he makes a post, only 1% to 3% on average are actually seeing his posts. He has to pay Instagram to reach his own followers, okay? And that's the main difference with OpenWav. We are direct to fan, artist to fan, no advertisers, no middleman. You own the data, you own your music, you own your catalog, you own your audience, you own your fan, and you're direct. 80-20 platform, we also tell the artists and the fans we're the 1% platform. So you have 100,000 fans, we want 1,000 that will come on OpenWav and support your music, buy your merch, buy your tickets, buy your content, buy everything, and actually support you. So we're the 80-20 platform.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to go back to something you said, which is very important, because I got some of my young kids probably watching this on my blog right now. And they're like, yo, Unc, man, Jay just said, chapter 2, the AI gonna be my best friend, and then he gonna be telling me what I should be putting out and all of that. And the part that we want you to understand is the reason why the AI is gonna be able to tell you that is because unlike all those whack A&Rs that passed on the Fugees, the AI is just machine learning.
That's right.
It's just learning your music, and it's learning about your audience. So again, you have nothing to fear but fear itself. I made that shit up, too.
An original. This all gets at something really essential, and it is kind of where I want to end. Being an artist has long been hard on an economic level. If you could describe the future of artists and art and music in one word, what would it be? One word. I'll give you a phrase, maybe. Jason, you're first.
Passion.
Wyclef.
Legacy.
That's time. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.